For those of you who don't know, this is a rocking chair. This is where I record all my sofa sermons. And it's really hard to not rock on it all the time. It's like a core workout during the actual video. It's pretty cool. Okay, I'll just stop. Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of our Sofa Sermons, episode 24? Gonna look silly if that's wrong now, 24. And yes, the date today is Thursday, the 25th, and 25th of June, which means Boris Johnson has just announced that certain things will be able to be opened once again. So let's have a little discussion about that. And then when it comes to the 4th of July, we need to make sure that we're doing what I'm talking about. So let's roll the intro and I'll see you soon. During this period of lockdown, life has given us an amazing physical reprieve from all of those other things that we have to do. Maybe not an emotional reprieve because we're quite anxious maybe about the virus and all of these other things that are occurring. But it's given us a physical reprieve in the fact that we can, stay at home most of the time. I don't even get out of my pyjamas and I'm just relaxing and I'm just chilling and I don't have to do so much. And we're not going out and we're not doing loads of things. We're making sure that we're staying socially distanced and that we're staying safe. But at some point, and the day is getting closer and closer, as I mentioned earlier and before the intro, Boris Johnson has said that certain things will be able to get back to a little sense of normality. And things are getting closer and closer to returning to normality. And it will soon be back to normal. And God has an amazing plan to bring his kingdom forward. And I think that's something we should always keep at the forefront of our minds, right here, right on our foreheads, to say that God's got us, God's got a plan, and it's going to be amazing. And God knows what's going to happen, and he's going to bring us through it. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about stress, because it's something that we've had to deal with, and it's something that I've had to deal with. There's a lot of things going on right now in many people's lives, and as things start to reopen, in their normal lives, let's say, and as things start to reopen, different things are going to be added on top of that, appointments, different, things that we would normally do are going to get added on top, and then on top of that, and then on top of that, and then on top of that. And sometimes life can feel like a little bit too much and a little bit too much stress. But God's the answer. And we'll soon be back to leading our normal life. But then, unfortunately, on top of all of this, things going to be opened, appointments, visits, all of these things. We've now got to also think about the added stresses of hand washing, social distancing, cleaning, staying away, mask wearing. All of these things are going to be added stress on top of stress that already existed in our lives. And I feel it so badly. We've returned to church and I've got all of these other things that I want to think about and these other things that I want to do. And then on top of that, I have to be thinking about social distancing, cleaning my hands, washing, different things that I've touched, wearing a mask, social distancing, staying away. Just so many things that it's so stressful. And this to me is added stress because it means that I can't act in the way that I would normally act and do all of the things that I would normally do. And all of those things that I would normally do bring a certain element of stress into my life already. And there's things to do and things to think about. But then there's all this other garbage piled on top of all this social distancing and things like that. God's got me, though. Keeping that right here. And over the course of this hiatus, I have drawn closer to God and read more of my Bible and put more effort into preaching. And this is amazing stuff. And I'm hopeful that God will be pleased that I'm making more time to spend with him, that I'm putting more effort into my preaching, that, you know, this is something that I never even dreamed about doing. I wrote a preach maybe once a month, maybe twice a month if you were unlucky, and that was it. But now I have to write short sermons and things like this, you know, two times, maybe even 3 times a week. And that's a lot for me. And that's fine. And I enjoy it. And it's amazing. And it's brought me closer to God. And I wouldn't give it up for the world. And I don't want this to disappear once my normal life starts to creep back in. Mark 4 verse 19 says, "But the worries of this life come in and they choke the word." Now that's a very, you know, graphic statement. It's saying that, you know, this life will overtake God, and it's so easy to let that happen. But what I'm saying today is do not let that happen. The worries of this life are solved by a future with God, not the other way around. Making sure that we are staying close to God will help with all of the other rubbish that life can throw at us. During this time of lockdown, many of us have picked up some amazing routines, habits, things like that, such as reading our Bibles more, taking more time for God and for the people at church, because the people are as important as a personal relationship with God. And putting time into the people and being together. And it's something that's really been explored with a couple of things that have been going on in my life. And I definitely feel closer to the people at church than I ever have, particularly the young people. And I've often said that church at this very moment is more social than it has ever been. You know, with all of the different things, the men's breakfast, the quizzes. You know, it's more social than I've ever been. And let's not lose that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not worried, but I'm just making sure that we don't lose that. And as all these other stresses start to creep back into our lives, let's not lose it. God wants us to be 100% dedicated to our walk with him. Let's not allow amazing progress that has been made during the lockdown period go to waste. Many people have started to trust God, have put their faith in God for the first time. Let's begin to build on that. Let's us as Christians step up and start educating, well, not educating, but saying to those people, let's take this further. Let's walk alongside you, because God has an amazing plan for everybody and everything in his kingdom. And that's right at the forefront of my brain right now. And he brings us forward into the future, into his kingdom and into his love. When things do start to get stressful, when things are starting to pile on, it's time to step up, not step down. Now, this is a very, very difficult request, and it's very, very hard. And I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's going to be easy, because it won't. But it's time to step up, not to step down. The closer you are to God the Father, the easier these other things will seem. Don't be disheartened. Keep up the great work. Step up. Do not step down. Be honest about what you can do and what you can't do, and be willing to be all in on God's kingdom. Don't be the lazy so-and-so that turns up just on Sundays and doesn't do anything during the week. God's kingdom is so much more than just turning up on Sunday, and that is important, but it's so much more than that. And it has a place for anyone and everyone. So step up. Don't step down. Whether you think you've got skills, whether you think you haven't got anything to give, you do. God's kingdom is so vast, it's so amazing. It has a place for anybody and everyone, whatever skill level, whatever you can do, whatever you're good at, God has a place for you, and I promise that to you now. So step up, people. It's time to step up and not step down. That's important, I think. It's right there for me right now, and it's difficult. But some things are. Sometimes life be that way, kiddo. Yeah. Well, this got depressing real fast, didn't it? Just had a bit of an emotional epiphany. Yeah. Oh well. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. I just want to say that there's been a bit of a delay in our conversation about this week. We're doing some major work at the church, moving God's kingdom forward, and therefore it wasn't possible to get you it this week due to some technical issues. But it will return in a few weeks on our normal slot, so there won't be one next week, but there will be one the week after. So once we're up and running with that kind of thing, I'll definitely keep you updated. But these sofa sermons continue to come at you. Hopefully you're enjoying them. Stay happy, stay healthy, hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, the Facebook, everything. Just, you know what to do by now. Just do it. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.